All right. All praises, man. Let's get to it.
Praise.
All praises to the Most High.
No.
You said 75?
76.
76? All right.
In
Okay.
Yahudah, Psalm 76, excuse me. In Yahudah, Elohim is known. His name is great in Yisrael, and his booth is in Shalem, and his dwelling place in Zion. There he broke the arrows of the bow, the shield, and the sword, and the battle axe. Selah. You are resplendent, more excellent than mountains of prey. The stout-hearted have been stripped. They slept in their sleep, and none of their mighty men have found their hands. At your rebuke, O Elohim of Jacob, both the rider and horse lay stunned. You are to be feared, and who will stand in your presence when you are displeased? From heaven you shall cause judgment to be heard. The earth shall fear and shall be still. When Elohim arises to right ruling, to save all the meek of the earth. Selah. For the wrath of mankind praises you. With your remainder of wrath, you gird yourself. Make vows to Yahuwah, your Elohim, and pay them. Let all who are around him bring presents to the one to be feared. He cuts off the spears of leaders. He is awesome to the sovereigns of the earth. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. All praises.
Oh, praises.
All praises. Okay. Since we're going to be dealing with the men discussion today, let's start it in Ezra. We're going to start in Ezra, 4th Ezra, 2nd Ezra, chapter 3. Huh?
Hey, Ivan, before we get started on that, I just wanted to pose a question to the brothers, you feel me? Because I know we just dealt with the women's last week. I just want to pose this question, saying like, could you say everything attributed to women originally came from men, right? Since they come from our rib, right?
Yeah, definitely.
We come from the dirt, they come from our rib. So all the characteristics or everything we attribute to men, to women, we can say that originally came from us, right?
Yeah. I believe that.
Right on.
I don't know, man. I don't know. In the beginning, the woman was the first one to sin. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can't say
but even with that though, family, fam, the fact that when you read Job, you see exactly what Adam was supposed to do. When you read what Job did, brother.
Right.
And the fact that Adam didn't, this is why we in the predicament that we in right now.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
true. That's true.
When women being disobedient, right? Because the woman, like you say, Big I could say, the woman disobeyed first or committed the first sin, right?
Mm-hmm.
But originally the command was given to Adam. So really he disobeyed, right? Like Big Man just said. He could have did what Job did. Like, man, woman, get on my face with that nonsense, right?
Real talk.
Even women being irresponsible, right? Women make excuses all the time. They can never just be like, yeah, you right, baby. You know what I'm saying? They always make excuses. But what happened when the Most High came to Adam? He was like, well, that woman you gave me, right? He didn't even take responsibility. Because again, he could have been like Job and been like, get out my face with that nonsense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just wanted to pose that before we get into the men's discussion, right?
Okay.
Then let's title this one too. For every virtuous woman, it's 10 times harder to find a righteous man, right? Because we just asked the women, are you virtuous or wicked? So for every virtuous woman, it's 10 times harder to find a righteous man.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Man, I updated my phone, man. Now it's just like, what the heck?
You say loud.
Nah, we good.
All right.
I should have waited before I updated it. Okay. All right. All right. Fourth Ezra.
Fourth Ezra.
Yeah. Chapter 3. And read 4 through 8. You can start it off, Shad.
Okay, yeah, let me jump in there now. Fourth Ezra. Okay. Oh, Yahuwah, Odonye, you spoke at the beginning when you did plant the earth, and that by yourself alone, and commanded the people, and gave a body unto Adam without soul, which was the workmanship of your hands, and did breathe into him the breath of life, and he was made living before you.
We just talking about that regular man. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Coming into this world. Go ahead,
Mm-hmm. And you led him into paradise, which your right hand had planted, before ever the earth came forth. And unto him you gave commandment to love your way, which he transgressed, and immediately you appointed death in him. And in his generation, of whom came nations, tribes, peoples, and kindreds out of number. And every people walked after their own will, and did wonderful things before you, and despised your commandments.
So we see that all the nations come out of Adam. And he said everybody started sinning. All right, jump down to 21.
Okay. For the first Adam, bearing a wicked heart, transgressed and was overcome, and so be all they that are born of him.
Man, so all born to Adam is transgression. Now we're gonna go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7. We're gonna read 1 through 7.
Mm-hmm. I myself also am a mortal man, like to all, right? And the offspring of him that was first made of the earth, right? So we all but mortal man, every one of us, right?
Right.
And
we all go through things, right?
Right. And in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in the time of 10 months, being compacted in blood of the seed of man and the pleasure that came with sleep. And when I was born, I drew in common air. I drew in the common air and fell upon the earth, which is of like nature. And the first voice which I heard was crying. That's all others do.
So everybody do the same thing when they come into this world. Right. Everybody.
We again all but mortal men, right? That's you,
Everybody mute up.
Oh, my bad.
What are you talking about?
Oh, my phone.
I was nursed in swallowing cloths, and that with cares. For there is no king that had any other beginning of birth, for all men have one entrance into life, and the like going out.
Right. Everybody got the same birth and the same death. You're gonna die, and you're gonna be born, and you're gonna die. That's basically what he's saying.
Right. So, and we basically saying we dealing with a men's discussion also, right? So we
Mm-hmm.
all but mortal men. Ain't not one man better than the next man in here or in this world, right?
Right,
We know
right.
Where we at with it?
Go ahead. Go on, hit 7.
Okay. Wherefore I prayed, and understanding was given me. I called upon Elohim, and the Ruach Chakmah came to me.
That's the spirit of wisdom, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Spirit of wisdom came to him. All right, now let's go to Sirach 40:1.
Great travail is created for every man.
Some
And
men,
every man.
so we all gonna have stuff going on. Go ahead.
And a heavy yoke is upon the sons of men. From the day that they go out of their mother's womb to the day that they return to the mother of all things, right?
To the mother of all. Mm-hmm. So during this time that you come from your mother's womb till you hit the earth, you got to get some understanding, right?
Right.
Let's go back a chapter, Sirach 39, and read verse 1.
But he that gives his mind to the Torah of El Elyon and is occupied in the meditation thereof will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied of all the ancient.
The ancient, right?
Mm-hmm.
The ancient, right? So we need to seek out the wisdom of the ancients, right? So seeking out the wisdom of the ancients, let's go to who better than our forefather Judah? Let's see what Judah got to say.
I'll pass this on the screen, read.
You what?
I'll pass this on the screen, read.
All right. I'll let you want to read Gotcha or Jermaine? Yeah. All right. When you see Lord, just say the Most High, something like that. You know what I'm saying? All right. Judah chapter 3. We're gonna read 1 and 2. This is our forefather, right? We say we from the tribe of Judah.
And now I command you, my children, hearken to Judah your father, and keep my sayings to perform all the ordinance of the Most High, and to obey the commandments of Yah.
So he telling us to obey.
Keep all the commandments. And walk not after your lusts, nor in the imaginations of your thoughts, in haughtiness of heart, and glory not in deeds and strength of your youth.
Mm-hmm.
For this also is evil in the eyes of the Most High.
He said, glory not, right? In the deeds and strength of your youth, right? So the youth is what we shouldn't, we got to find what is the youth?
Right. And it said not walk after them lusts too, right? Whatever you might lust in might be, you know what I'm saying? Alcohol, food, anything, right? Walk not after them lusts.
Okay, so we're gonna go to Reuben and see what these sins of the youth is. Man, this thing is crazy. All right, Reuben, chapter 1, 12 and 13. You can keep going, Jermaine.
12 and 13?
Yeah, 12, wait. Yeah, 12 and 13.
Okay. 7 spirits, therefore, are appointed against man, and they are the leaders in the works of youth.
Mm-hmm.
And 7 other spirits are given to him at his creation, that through them should be done every work of man.
So that's other spirits, right?
Mm-hmm. Now we're gonna deal with the ones that we're gonna deal with some of them. We ain't gonna deal with all of them. Jump down to 20 to 24 out.
The seventh is the power of procreation and sexual intercourse, with which through love of pleasure sin enters in.
Man, the seventh. That's the one we're gonna be really dealing with today. All right.
Okay.
We're gonna be dealing with this power of procreation, sexual intercourse. All right. All right.
And sexual intercourse. And sexual intercourse. So it ain't all every time you having sex, it ain't always about procreating, right? It's about sometimes it's about pleasure, right?
Pleasure, right.
And if it pleases you so much where you lust after it, that's when sin enters in, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, 21.
Wherefore it is the last in order of creation, and the first in that of youth, because it is
the first in that of youth.
Right. It's the last of the order of the creation, right? So the last thing that the Most High say, okay, go and be fruitful and multiply, right? Procreate, right?
mm-hmm.
It's the first thing you think about when you come into your manhood.
For sure.
Right.
Let me get some action, right?
For sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's what Judah said, glory not in the sins of your youth, right?
I'm actually witnessing that right now with my grandson. You know what I'm saying? Being 13, to be totally honest.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start back over 21. Wherefore it is the last in order of creation, and the first in that of youth, because it is filled with ignorance, and leadeth the youth as a blind man to a pit, and as a beast to a precipice. What is that?
Precipice.
Precipice.
That's let's see.
Precipice.
That would be
iTunes.
This thing, man. Get it. I ain't even dealing with that today. Go ahead. 22.
Besides all these, there is an eighth spirit of sleep, with which is brought about the trance of nature, and the of death.
Right. Like that spirit. Mm-hmm. We're gonna see where that spirit that's in the nature, you know. And then he said, besides all the eighth spirit of sleep, which is brought about the trance of nature, like you in the daze. You know what I'm saying? Don't know what's going on.
Right. And that trance of sleep, like you say, at your youth, your trance of sleep, that's when you was first having your wet dreams thinking about them women and fornicating, right?
Right. Dang. All right, 23 and 24.
With these spirits are mingled the spirits of error. First, the spirit of fornication is seated in the nature and in the senses.
Like you said, that fornication is seated in the nature, right?
Yeah.
Right here it says, which is brought about the trance of nature, right?
For sure.
And in your senses too, right? So when you think about your eyes, you see the fornicate. With your ears, you hear it, right? And that's especially these days, where we see everything in the youth. You see it, you hear it in the songs, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say you hear it through the music.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man, you smell it. You know what I'm talking about? You know, you like, you know. Don't touch a little something. Don't touch a little something. You might not wash your hands all day. Just smelling the fingers.
Right. Okay, right.
Stop.
Yeah.
Smell my fingers, bro.
Hey, I was just talking about the senses, though. My bad. I'll stop. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I looked up precipice. It means a steep or a cliff.
A cliff. Okay.
But they have a steep cliff, but it got so many meanings. And it's
that's a good definition, because it said led like a beast to a precipice.
Yeah.
So like a
Off
beast to a cliff.
Precipice.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
precipice.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. 31 and 37. All right.
And with all these, the spirit of sleep is joined, which is that of error and fantasy.
Error and fantasy. Wasn't somebody just saying that fantasizing?
For
You
sure.
know,
For sure.
of that nature. You thinking about it, right?
Right.
And so perished every young man, darkening his mind from the truth and not understanding the law of Yah, nor obeying the admonitions of his fathers, as befell me. What was that?
Nor obeying the admonitions of his father.
I guess we'll pronounce that admonitions, but it's still
admonitions, like, you know,
warn somebody, you know, reprimand them basically.
For sure. As befell me also in my youth. And now, my children, love the truth, and it will preserve you. Hear ye the words of Reuben your father.
Right. So we gotta love the truth, right? And forget about everything, you know what I'm saying? Especially like you say in the youth, what you just said with your grandson, big man. You know, we gotta be like, hey man, this is a spirit of error, right? I dealt with it. So you gotta know if I'm telling you it's a spirit of error and we reading it now, man, love the truth, right?
For sure. Pay no heed to the face of a woman.
Pay no heed to the face of a woman, right?
Nor associate with another man's wife.
Man.
Did we just read this last week?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Nor meddle with affairs of womankind.
Not mankind, womankind.
Womankind.
So, you know, when women be gossiping and all that, you know, we can take it to the gentle aspect like that. And hey, man, y'all do all that. Don't meddle in their affairs, right?
Oops.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking about. Not getting hold up in their business and stuff.
Right.
Hey, don't no girl like that either. Like when the man be at too all gossip anyway.
Yeah.
For had I not seen Beli bathing in a covered place, I had not fallen into great iniquity.
Right. He said, for have I not seen Bilhah, right? Seen her. Right? Like he just said, pay no heed to the beauty of women. Right? And the problem with this is that he's seen her. If he didn't see her,
he wouldn't have been thinking about it. He wouldn't have been dreaming about it.
He had no thought. Yeah, he wouldn't have had no thought of it.
Right. That's when we talk about that. Because he seen it and then he started dreaming about it. Like, wow, man, she was looking good in that bathtub, right?
Man.
Having dreams about it and all.
Right. So the problem with sin, right? We're gonna read this. We're gonna go back to the senses of the man, right? And Reuben 1 and 15. What that say, Jermaine?
The second is the sense of sight, with which arises desire.
A desire, and that was his problem, right? If he didn't see her, and it brought that thought, okay.
I guess, and then I guess again a good example would be like that would be David. Then we'll see he's seen Bathsheba bathing, right?
Exactly.
Right. Exactly. And we're gonna go there next. We're gonna go there next, and we're gonna look at that.
Okay.
All right. Hit 38. All right. Hit 38.
For my mind taking in the thought of the woman's nakedness, suffer me not to sleep until I had wrought the abominable thing.
Right. First he's seen her, and now he can't sleep, right?
Sleep until, wow.
What's that?
Go ahead.
Let me see. Proverbs. Let me go to Proverbs real quick.
The crazy thing about that is that I'm sure every brother in here, well, every brother, period, can relate to this.
So
real talk.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Go ahead. I'll hit this 4 and 16. Proverbs 4 and 16, Shad.
Okay. For they do not sleep unless they have done evil, and their sleep is taken away unless they make someone fall.
Right.
Mm.
All right. Now let's look at David. You know, his problem was the same thing, the sight, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you see these women, you got to turn away from them, or you're gonna be messed up too, right?
Right. And then, like you say, we ain't even got it because it said when he seen Bilhah, she was taking a bath covered. Like that mean he had to go peek in there to see her. Because it wasn't out in the open, right? It said she was covered bathing, right? So he made it a point to be like, man, let me look in there one time and see what's going on. Right? These days, these women, we ain't gotta go peek. They walk outside half naked anyway. Right?
Real
right.
talk.
Right.
Talk every day.
And they don't help. They don't help us out at all.
At all. Not at all.
Not at all.
Okay. 2 Samuel 2. 2 Samuel 11. 2 to 16. Go ahead, gotcha.
All right, you said 2 to 16?
Yeah.
All right. Let's say, and it came to be at evening time that David rose up from his bed and walked out about the roof of the sovereign's house. And from the roof, he saw a woman bathing, and the woman was very good to look at.
Hey,
so he saw her.
Can you start? My bad. Can you start that at 1 though?
Start at 1?
Yeah, I know you was about to go in. My bad.
Go ahead,
Okay. It says, and it came to be at the turn of the year, at the time of sovereigns go out to battle, that David sent Joab as his servants with him, and his servants with him, and all Israel, and they destroyed the children of Ammon and besieged Rabbah, but David remained at Jerusalem.
Oh, so that was the problem right there. That's the background right there. This is the time that the sovereigns go to battle, right? They say at the time that the sovereigns go out to battle. David was a sovereign. He was a king, right?
Right.
David sat back. He said, nah, I ain't going out. Like all the sovereigns go to battle. I'm going to send Joab and his servants with him, right? David stayed back in Jerusalem to kick it, right? Okay, I just wanted to get that background.
Okay. You want me to go from 2 again? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and go to 2.
Right. And it came to be at evening time that David rose up from his bed and walked about on the roof of the sovereign's house. And from the roof, he saw a woman bathing, and the woman was very good to look at.
Right. And that was the problem, that he saw her, right?
No doubt.
Yeah.
No
that
doubt.
He saw her. That was his problem right there.
And then it was at evening time, the sun was going down. It was probably like a nice little sunset. It didn't say the next day, it said at evening time.
Right. He probably had him a sip, you know?
Right. On his roof, he had his robe on the roof. Huh?
Yeah, he had his robe. He walking about on the roof with his robe on.
Right. Yeah. He said all the kings out battling right now. I'm sitting at the rooftop chilling. Wait, what's that I see? Go ahead, though.
Yep. That's how that man works.
It says, and David sent and asked about the woman, and one said, is this not Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite? And David sent messengers to fetch her, and she came to him, and he lay with her, for she was cleansing herself from uncleanliness, and she returned to her house.
Wow.
David up there, he like, man,
he was foul.
Right.
Foul with a capital foul.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey,
talk.
Go get her. Go get her, that old girl right there. Yeah, her.
Yeah.
And
then they already told him.
Right. Man, that's Uriah woman. Man, go get her anyway.
And what was she
Look-
first from doing that? Why she was bathing like what was she first from doing? From coming from her
off.
cleansing. She was fresh off her period, right?
Yeah.
So she was cleansing herself from her uncleanliness. She just came from her period. And she returned to the house, right? So, and then, you know, I got 4 kids. So I know when it's the time of ovulating. You come off that period. So.
Man,
I was about to say that. Like, yeah, like she was fertile at that time. I never I never caught that. It got in so much detail with that. I never even caught that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But you know, but then again, at the same time, you know, for she was cleansing herself from her uncleanness, and she returned to her house. That's after David had hit something. Really? You know what I'm saying? Okay.
That's why I'm saying she and the woman conceived, right?
Yep. And the woman conceived and sent and informed David and said, I am pregnant.
Man, I'm pregnant.
Wow.
I'm pregnant.
So that mean this was supposed to be a one-time hitter. Because they wasn't even speaking no more after this. He gonna hear it and be like, all right, man, we ain't gonna talk no more. So she had to send for
up and go home. Clean yourself up and go home.
Right. So she sent for him and had to inform him. She just couldn't go to the king's palace again and be like, hey man, I'm pregnant. She had to send somebody to let him know. Come
on. Then David sent to Joab, send Uriah the Hittite to me, and Joab sent Uriah to David.
So he said, man, go get her wife, go get her husband, and send them to me. You know what I'm saying?
Now he plotting then, right? Just like Jermaine Big Man said, that's fine. Right?
Yeah, seriously.
All right, 7.
And Uriah came to him and said, David asked how Joab was doing and how the people were doing and how the fighting was going.
So David, that's slick talk right there.
That's exactly what it is.
That's slick talk. He said, man, how Joab was doing. You send him to me. You know what I'm saying? You asked him, basically, how the people were doing and how the fighting was going.
All for lust.
All for lust, right?
Now, mind you, we read verse 1. He asking all these things at the time of the year when the sovereigns go out to battle. That means all the kings go out and fight at this time, and he wasn't there. So it's like, you asked me this, man. You're supposed to be here. You shouldn't even have to ask. You're supposed to be here.
Okay.
All right. And David said to Uriah, go down to your house and wash your feet. And Uriah went out from the sovereign's house and gave a gift from the sovereign followed them.
He went to Uriah went out from the sovereign's house, and a gift from the sovereign followed him. So David sent him a gift.
He probably had
man,
some wine.
Why you giving him a gift? Would he give him out some wine?
Probably. I need you to go lay with this woman. Here's some wine, some roses. Take these roses to your woman. You feel me? All that. See, this brother slick fella. Go ahead.
Says, okay, but you're right. You said go what? You said what?
Nah, you good.
Okay. So, but Uriah lay down at the door of the sovereign's house with all the servants of his master and did not go down to his house.
So he just got done fighting. He ain't gonna go down to his woman's house. He laid at David's door with David's servant.
And they informed. Okay. And they informed David, saying Uriah did not go down to his house. So David said to Uriah, did you not come from a journey? Why did you not go down to your house? And Uriah said to David, the ark and Israel and Yehuda are dwelling in booths, and my master Joab and the servants of my master are encamped in the open fields. And should I go to my house to eat and drink and to lie with my wife as you live and as your being lives, let me not do this.
And this
So
brother was
Uriah, like,
righteous.
man, right? He was a righteous man. Man, I ain't finna go lay with my woman. All these people at war.
Yeah.
What am I gonna go there for?
Right? He thinking about his brethren more than he thinking about laying with his woman, man.
For sure.
Right.
For sure.
And David trying to make him, man, that's your kid that she having. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's all
his
this
whole
is about.
intent.
Yeah.
That's what he plotted out. Yeah, we already knew what he plotted.
Yeah,
that's wicked, right? All because he saw this woman.
All because he saw her.
Right.
All right, 12. Right?
Okay. And David said to Uriah, remain here today also, and tomorrow I let you go. So Uriah remained in Jerusalem that day and the next. And David called him, and he ate and drank before him, and he made him drunk.
Man, this dude, what did he do? He did what to him?
He made him drunk.
Man, he thinking, Uriah thinking like, man, I'm about to go sit and eat with the sovereign. We about to have some drinks. You know, he digging that. David got another motive though, right? His motive is different. Come on.
Says, and at evening he went out to lie on his bed with the servants of his master, but he did not go down to his house. Says, and it came to be in the morning that David wrote a letter to Joab and sent it by the hand of Uriah. And he wrote in the letter saying, set Uriah in the front of the toughest battle. And if you shall turn away from him, and he shall be stricken and shall die.
Look at that.
Man,
now, is that wicked or what? Right?
Seriously.
And we see how still Uriah was still a humble servant all the way into that end. Because when he sent that letter, Uriah could have opened that letter and read it for himself. Right?
Right.
David said, David told him, make sure you don't even open this. Uriah, all right. You feel me? He could have read that letter for himself and knew this is what he's trying to do to me. You know what I'm saying?
But he was a righteous man. Righteous man. He ain't, you know, he ain't got no gall in him. Basically, that's what it looked like, at least.
Okay.
All right, 16.
And it came to be as Joab watched the city that he appointed Uriah to the place where he knew there were brave men.
Right. That's all. We just looking at what David did. That was wicked, right?
Yeah,
man.
And then
cold stuff.
And then him doing that, you know, him doing that just because he looked at the woman.
Then this is another example of David having more fear of the people. You know, and not like, you know, his enemies, but you know, the people of Israel, how they view him. You feel me? Because he tried to keep this secret. That's why he appointed Uriah. So, you know, okay, he don't want to lay with this woman. I can't have this come out that this my baby. You feel me?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? We see all the strategy he put forth. You know what I'm saying?
And when all that failed, he just had the man basically murdered over it.
Right. To cover this up, right?
Okay. This Benjamin chapter.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
I just wanted to say something about that David story. You know, just that mindset. When you're in that mindset, a man that would just sleep with another man, woman, you got, you know what I'm saying? You got to pay attention to your circle. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give a little testimony, like a personal experience, but then again, it's also like, you know, just to have that type of mind, and you gotta be careful who you're around because they got that mind. You see how far that, you know, they'll go. You know, man with
right.
You know what I'm saying?
So, brother.
Man, come on, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, so
always open.
Yeah, man. So like, you know, they say birds of a feather flock together, and I used to have that type of mind. You know what I'm saying? And so you know, I used to get, you know, take pride in, you know, sleeping with other man's girls, and I thought that was cool. And I had a buddy that I used to do that with. You know what I'm saying? And when me and my baby mama, my first baby mom, you know what I'm saying, when we broke up, right? The same brother that, I used to kick it with, this is my friend, we used to have fun doing this. Hey, my baby mom got mad at me and wanted to get some revenge and slept with him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the man, so when you had that mentality of I don't care, about this man, no integrity of okay, this woman belonged to somebody else, that could backfire, you know what I'm saying? You gotta just pay attention that's a spirit on somebody, you know what I'm saying? That they'll do that to anybody. You know what I mean? You can't sleep on that, man. You gotta have integrity.
Right. And we know that David was severely punished, for the he might not died immediately, but he was still punished, right? From like what you said, Absalom slept with all his concubines, right? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he got his punishment for this, you know what I'm saying? But I know that's the moral of the story,
Yeah, but I'll just tell brothers, just be mindful of your friends, right? Make sure you got some integrity, some friends around you that's not talking like that. And make sure you're not talking like that. But yeah, that's it.
All right.
Hey, whoever was around him, they tried to admonish him first, though. They said, "Is this not Uriah? Is this not Sheba, Uriah's wife?" And they told him who her daddy was. You feel me? So they tried to admonish him. It's just like, what else can you say to the sovereign of Jerusalem? Say go get the woman,
And he wasn't hearing none of that, right? Because his mind was messed up.
Right. He's seen it. He's like, man, I got to deal with that.
Man. Okay. Benjamin chapter 2 and verse 2. He that have a pure mind and love, right? He that have a pure mind and love looketh not after a woman with the view to fornication. For he had no defilement in his heart, because the spirit of the Most High rests upon him.
All praises.
All praises.
And then, like, you can be, he could have been in the presence of a woman, like it said, sitting out with another man's wife, right? Just think if David didn't have that thought in his head. I wasn't go to this scripture. I'm gonna go to it real quick. He might have not have had that thought in his head, but because of that, let's just read this real quick. All right, this is Reuben chapter 2. I'm gonna read 20 to 24. I read it. Beware therefore of fornication. And if you wish to be pure in mind, guard your senses from every woman.
We talked about those senses earlier, right?
Right.
Eyes to
so you got to guard your senses from every woman, right? And command the women likewise not to associate with men, that they also may be pure in mind.
Ooh, hold on. You shouldn't have went there. I got one scripture for that. I gotta find it though. Go ahead.
Okay. For constant meetings, right? Constant meetings, even though the ungodly deed be not wrought, are to them an irremediable disease, and to us a destruction of Bel-Air and an eternal reproach. So sitting with this woman, you might not be thinking of this thing, but y'all being together, you and another man's wife, is that irremediable. Irremediable. Ain't no remedy basically to this disease.
Right. Hey, you got that scripture there we're talking about. I was trying to compare with that last scripture you were just saying, when it's like a woman that associated with men, that's like the worst type of woman, something like that. You know what I'm talking about? No,
I can't think of it right offhand.
Okay.
I don't know. You might have to look for it and then just bring it out.
I'll bring it out later.
Okay. All right. For in fornication there is neither understanding nor goodliness, and all jealousy dwelleth in the lust thereof, right? Therefore, then I say unto you, you will be jealous against the son. Okay, no, I was just doing 23 then, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
that's that godliness.
And go back to that Benjamin that you had went to before you went to this too.
Hey, I said godliness, not goodness.
Appreciate it, Doc. All right. 2 and 2. He that has a pure mind and love looketh not after a woman with a view to fornication.
Yeah, right
For
there.
he,
Mind and love, right? So if you got a pure mind and you really want to love on that woman, right? You ain't looking at her to view to want to fornicate with her, right? So she might have came out the shower naked on you. You feel me? You ain't got the view to like, oh yeah, I just want to fornicate with her. You might just want to hug and love on her, right? But he that has no defilement in his heart, right? Your heart ain't defiled just to fornicate all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the spirit of the Most High rested upon him, right? And the Most High ain't putting the spirit of fornication on us, right? He putting us a set apart spirit to view that woman's spirit and not just view her in the fornication aspect, man. Sure.
Okay. We'll go to Sirach now. Sirach. Chapter 9. And we're gonna read, you can read it, Shag. We're gonna read 5.
You say Numbers 5?
Nah, Sirach 9 and 5.
Okay. Gaze not on a maid that you fall not by those things that are precious in her, right?
And that word gaze means to stare, right? That means to stare. Okay.
And that you fall not by the things that are precious in her.
All right, 7.
I was saying, what's precious to her, right? That's her virginity, right?
Right. Because the maid is a young girl or a virgin, right?
Right.
All right, 7 through 9.
Okay. Look not round about you in the streets of the city, neither wander in the solitary place thereof.
He said, look not around about you in the streets of the city, neither wander in the solitary places thereof. When he's saying look not around, that's just like being in the store and you see a nice, big, fat, juicy butt walking down the aisle. You want to go turn around, right?
Juicy out?
I know you gotta put all the pronouns to it, bro.
Yeah, I can't come out here. We talking about juicy. It made me question if I hit the corner.
Yeah.
It's juicy.
It might be juicy. You might, man, let me go back in aisle 7.
Yeah.
You said juicy? I might have that.
You said juicy?
Hey. And then you go around the corner, you see one of your buddies. You be like, hey man, go look at aisle 7.
Yeah, all that.
Right.
All that comes
you know what I'm saying?
It's jumping on aisle 7.
It's jumping on aisle 7. Bad. I'm talking about bad, boy.
I said it's juicy.
Hey,
juicy.
Hey, and y'all know I've been everywhere with it today. So we read that 7 again, and it say, look not round about you in the streets of the city. What walks in the streets of the city, right? Neither wander in the solitary places thereof. What's on that one block in the solitary place and they walk in them streets? Come on.
Prostitutes.
I just leave it there. You
right,
can
exactly.
Big Lane answer.
Hey, and the thing is though, like back then, you had to go places to find women dressed like that. But nowadays, you go to Walmart and they dress like that. You know what I'm saying?
That's why we was talking about that desire when you look upon him. When we was talking about earlier, he had to peek in the shower to look upon her. She was in a covered place bathing. These days, man, like you say, you go to Walmart, they naked right before your eyes. You ain't gotta try to peek or nothing. It's right before your eyes.
Right. All right, hey, Doc.
Turn away your eye from a beautiful woman
See, that's the thing that we got to do, right? Turn away your eye from a beautiful woman, right? That's the only way you ain't gonna have them thoughts come in your head. You might glance and go, "Oh, she's pretty," and turn your head real quick. Because if you look too long, if you gaze up on her, you're gonna have that lust coming into your heart.
Yeah, them thoughts coming.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So for this, we need to say, turn away your eye from a juicy booty, like I said. And again, turn away your eye from a beautiful woman and look not upon another's beauty. For many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman. For herewith love is kindled as a fire.
He said, many. For many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman. Right? Not just a couple, many.
And when they say, for herewith love is kindled as fire, we can really say, for herewith lust is kindled as a fire.
Right.
That's exactly what David did. He lusted after that woman when he seen her, and it was kindled as a fire. He like, bring that woman to me, right? And we seen after that, that woman ain't come in his presence again, right? Until she told him, until she sent for him to say that she conceived and she was pregnant, right? So David ain't had no love for that woman. He had lust for her. Go ahead,
Right, and it wasn't no righteous fire that was kindled, and because that fire kindled, you see that and all the destruction that came with that. You know what I mean? Uriah got killed. You know what I'm saying? And all that wickedness that he did, it came from that fire. That fire just got bigger. You know what I'm saying? And it's caused a lot more destruction.
Okay. Nah.
Verse 9. Sit not at all. Sit not at all.
At all. Right?
With another man's woman.
That's what Reuben told us that too.
Right. Nor sit down with her in your arms.
Man.
And spend not your money with her at the wine.
Ooh, wine
and women.
And wine and women. We're gonna have to go to Judah. We're gonna have to go to Judah after this, because Judah know about that wine, right?
Right. Lest your heart incline unto her. And so through your desire, right? And so through your desire, you fall into destruction.
Right. Through your desire.
So I mean, we can't be at the bar buying a woman drinks, another man's woman drinks, right?
Right. Come have a drink with me.
Yeah, we might just sit and kiki like, we friends and we kiki, and then you start buying some wine and some drinks, and then it say your heart be inclined to her. And so your desire, you like, man, she is kind of, oh man, just one time, you feel me? Through your desire, you fall into destruction, right?
Right.
Destruction is going back to the commandment. We'll say, don't commit adultery. Come on.
Now we gotta go back to Judah, because Judah know about the wine, so we're gonna see what he say about it. Judah 3. You ready, Jermaine? 3 through 8.
Since I also glory that in wars no comely woman face ever enticed me, and reprove Reuben my brother concerning Bilhah, the wife of my father, the spirits of jealousy and of fornication arrayed themselves against me, until I lay with Bathshua, the Canaanite, and Tamar, who was espoused to my sons.
So we see both of these brothers, Reuben and Judah, did some wicked stuff, because Reuben lay with Bilhah, his father's wife, and Judah lay with Tamar,
his son,
who was his sons, right?
And he mentioned Bathshua the Canaanite because he wasn't trying to be with no Canaanite at that time, right?
Right. And then
like, man,
plus the Most High didn't want us dealing with the Canaanite women.
Right. So that's why he mentioned Bathsheba the Canaanite, because he was saying I mixed it. I was basically mixing with nations at this time too.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're gonna come back to that wine, but let's deal with him and this Canaanite woman, right?
Okay.
Because he say the spirit of jealousy and of fornication arrayed themselves against me until I laid with Bathsheba the Canaanite and Tamar, who was espoused to my son. Now let's deal with wait a minute. No, let's keep going. Now we're gonna go to 8, and then we'll deal with it.
For I said to my father-in-law, I will take counsel with my father, and so will I take thy daughter. And he was unwilling, but he showed me a boundless store of gold in his daughter's behalf, for B was a king.
He said he consulted with his daddy. No. Jacob said, no, don't take that Canaanite woman to marry. But old girl's father showed him all his gold in his daughter's behalf, right? Because he was a king, right?
Right.
So Judah, well, that was a lot of money. He was like, oh, she getting paid. Let me get with her.
Right.
She got money.
Right.
6. And he adored her with gold and pearls, and caused her to pour out wine for us at the feast with the beauty of women.
Now that's messed up, right?
For sure. And the wine turned aside my eyes, and pleasure blinded my heart.
Man, there go that senses of them eyes which rise desire.
Right, and that's another sense, taste, right? That wine on the tongue.
Yeah.
So pull it up, yeah.
Okay.
And I became enamored of, and I laid with her, and transgressed the commandment of the Most High and the commandment of my fathers, and I took her to wife.
Is that a commandment?
It was a commandment from his father.
Taking a Canaanite woman?
From his father.
So okay,
let's go to. And he say I became enamored by her. Right, that's what wine will do to you.
For sure.
It'd be a woman not even looking that good, and you through that wine and that lust of fornication, you become enamored by that woman. You might wake up in the morning like, what did I just do? Right? Straight up, right?
Okay. Let's go to Jubilees chapter 30. I'll let you read this, Shag. You ready?
Yes, wait, no. I will be so. Jubilees 30.
Yeah, 30 and 7. 7 to 14.
And if there is any man who wishes in Yashrael to give his daughter or his sister to any man who is of the seed of the other nations, he shall surely die.
Uh-oh.
And they shall stone him with stones, for he has wrought shame in Yashrael. And they shall burn the woman with fire, because she has dishonored the name of the house of her father. And she shall be rooted out of Yashrael. So this go for the woman and the man then, right?
Right.
So say with the man, you stone him if he do it, and with the woman, you burn her. And let not an adulteress and no uncleanness be found in Yashrael throughout all the days of the generations of the earth. For Yashrael is holy. Go ahead, out.
Yeah, he trying to keep his. See, in the beginning, the Most High was setting up his people, right? Setting up his people and trying to keep all that uncleanness out of Israel.
Right. So that's why I say when you physically burnt the woman and physically stoned the man, it was to purge out the wickedness from among you. Right. So if I see him doing this and he got this, I'm gonna do it too. But if I see him gets stoned, I'm like, yeah, I ain't doing that. Right?
Right. Man, I ain't dealing with that. Yeah.
I ain't dealing with that. 9.
Yeah, we're going to 14. Let's see.
8 again. And let not an adulteress and no uncleanliness be found in Yashrael throughout all the days of the generations of the earth. For Yashrael is holy unto Yahuwah. And every man who defiled, every man who has defiled it shall surely die. They shall stone him with stones, for thus has it been ordained and written in the heavenly tablets regarding all the seed of Yashrael.
Some of the seed.
All the seed of Yashrael. He who defiles it shall surely die and shall be stoned with stones. And to this Torah, there is no limit of days, right? This forever.
No.
And no remission, nor any atonement. That's when it gets scary. But the man who has defiled his daughter shall be rooted out the midst of all Yashrael, because he has given his seed to Molech and wrought impiously so as to defile it. Wow. It said, so is it saying, I'm asking. It said if you give your daughter over to the seed of another nation, it say you give your daughter to the seed of Molech? Is that what it's saying?
Because you don't know what these other nations of people is worshiping, right?
Right.
Exactly. You can say that. You can say that about the passport brothers, what they call them. You go over there to another land, get you a woman. Oh, she bad and all this, but you don't know if she gonna be ready to get rid of that Christmas tree. You don't know if she worshiping Buddha.
Right, but we're not giving
Christmas.
We're not giving this over to the passport bros, because we read it again, say, but the man who has defiled his daughter, this is you defiling your daughter, shall be rooted out the midst of all Yashrael, because why? He has given his seed, your daughter, to Molech and wrought impiously. So it ain't passport bros going over to deal what they deal with. It's if you give your daughter, especially on the occasion where we just read, when you see, oh yeah, she got riches. Oh yeah, I'm gonna give my daughter over to him because they balling over there, right? And
but it's the same with the men too. It's the same with the men too. Not just the women, with the men too. That scripture probably was talking about the women, but as we keep reading, it's gonna be talking about the men too.
Okay, let's keep reading. And do you, Moshe, command the children of Yashrael and extort them not to give their daughters to the other nations, and not to take for their sons any of the daughters of other nations. There it is right there. I keep reading.
Yeah.
This is abominable before Yahuwah. For this reason, I have written for you in the words of the Torah all the deeds of the Shechemian which they wrought against Dinah, and how the sons of Jacob spoke, saying, we will not give our daughters to a man who is uncircumcised. For that were a reproach unto us, and it is a reproach to Yashrael, to those who live, and to those who take the daughters of the other nations. For this is unclean and abominable to Yashrael. And Yashrael will not be free from this uncleanliness if it has a woman of the daughters of other nations, or has given any of his daughters to a man who is in any other nations.
Right.
Hey, I got a question to pose to y'all. Do y'all feel that this law is supposed to be honored to this day?
I believe it is, because the promise was given to Israel, right? And if you mix your seed with another nation, right, then say like you would one of the Canaanites or whatever, but the promise was given to you. What you gonna do about your sons and daughters, right? What you gonna do about them? If you accept it in the kingdom, and they gonna be outside of the kingdom, then what you gonna have to be out there with your wife and kids, right? You think of it like that.
Yeah.
But you know, you can read about this Moab and all that in Jasher chapter 85, verse 51 to 61. You can read about, matter of fact, let's just go there real quick. Jasher 85. Because they knew that the children of Israel was some horny little things, right?
Yeah, I feel the question Big Man posing, because when we read in that Jubilees, it said there is no atonement for it, right?
We're gonna go deeper on this subject too, though. You know, because a lot of brothers waking up to their heritage, knowing who they is. They didn't know some of these things, right? We're gonna talk about that. All right, Jasher 85 and 51. I read it. And the children of okay, go ahead.
And the children of Yashrael journeyed from the plain of Moab and pitched by the Jordan from Beth Shema even unto Abiel Shittim at the end of the plains of Moab. And when the children of Israel abode in the plains of Shittim, they began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab. And the children of Yashrael approached Moab. And the children of Moab pitched their tents opposite to the camp of the children of Yashrael. And the children of Moab were afraid of the children of Yashrael.
They were scared of the Israelites.
And the children of Moab took all their daughters and their women of beautiful aspect and comely appearance, and dressed them in gold and silver and costly garments, right? And then we just read that Testament of Judah, what he did with his daughter, dressed out, sold them all that gold and dressed in gold and costly garments, right?
Yeah.
And the children of Moab seated those women at the door of their tents in order that the children of Yashrael might see them and turn to them and not fight against Moab.
So he like, man, we know what them Israelites want. Go sit up at the front of the tent. And then turn around sometime. Let them see the backside, right?
And all the children of Moab did this to the children of Yashrael. And every man placed his woman and daughter, right? His woman. He placed even his woman, right? And daughter at the door of his tent. And all the children of Israel saw the act of the children of Moab, and the children of Yashrael turned to the daughters of Moab and coveted them. And they went.
They wanted them. They wanted them.
Yeah, like you said, I mean,
what'd you say? Wait a minute. What'd you say, Jermaine?
Just like you just said, man. I mean, they knew what to do to us. You know what I'm saying? Seriously.
We know how to get them.
And then if we go back in this story, we'll see who told them to do that, right?
Right.
That's why he got his head cut off. Bilam, right?
And then, like last week in the women's discussion, we read that about the women. You know, that first scripture we read in Ezra, I think it was, how women base sway over man. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Yeah, for sure. To this day, brother.
To this day.
Straight up.
And it came to pass that when a Hebrew came to the door of the tent of Moab and saw a daughter of Moab and desired her in his heart and spoke with her at the door of the tent, that which he desired, while they were speaking together, the man of the tent would come out and speak to the Hebrew like unto these words. What he said to him. Surely you know that we are brethren, right? Because he say, Moab, come on. I come from Lot. You come from Abraham. We're brothers. Surely you know that we are brethren. We are all descendants of Lot and the descendants of Abraham, his brother. Wherefore then, will you not remain with us? And wherefore will you not eat our bread and our sacrifice?
And the sacrifice.
So just because we brother now, man, we worship the same El, right?
Right. They got a Buddha statue.
Man. And when the children of Moab had thus overwhelmed him with their speeches and enticed him by their flattering words, they seated him in the tent and cooked and sacrificed for him. And he ate of their sacrifices and of their bread. They then gave him wine, and he drank and became intoxicated.
Man, they gave him what? What they give him?
Wine, and he drank and became intoxicated. That's why the scripture tells us don't get drunk, right? He became intoxicated, right? Not to get drunk, right?
Right. What they do after they got him intoxicated,
and they placed before him a beautiful damsel.
Hey, hold on, that's that wine and women right there.
And that'll do it. That'll do it.
Make a man of understanding fall, right? Not any man. I mean, any man, but even a man of understanding.
But even,
right?
But even,
right? And he did with her as he liked, right? Because we already know, how the children of Moab came about. They slept with their own daddy. So it's like they had no morals, right? So he did her who he wanted. You know, any type of sexual pleasure that he was thinking of, right?
Right. We're gonna see some of that too. Go ahead,
For he knew not what he was doing, as he had drunk plentiful of wine.
Man, he didn't know what he was doing. He drank too much wine.
Right. Thus did the children of Moab to Yashrael in that place, in the plain of Shittim. And the anger of Yahuwah was kindled against Yashrael on account of this matter. And he sent a pestilence among them. And there died of Yashrael 24,000 men.
24,000 men, right?
Wow.
24,000. All right. Now let's go to Judges.
Hey, I had a few things to talk about with that topic. I'm about to pull over, but you know how you were talking about Moab, Shag, and how you know how they slept with Lot, their own father, you know how they get down, right?
Right.
So I'm like, they got the massages, you know, they known for having the massages, you know, that happy ending. You know what I'm saying?
They got the happy endings out.
They know about that happy endings, man. You know, they know to have those. You know, to this day they get, you know, to this day. Hey, I'm just saying, to this day they get down. You know what I'm saying? But I did have a question, or you know, more or less a statement or whatever, you know, y'all want to call it. But my thing is, okay, so if you do sleep, because we read earlier, you know, you dealt with the man gets stoned for dealing with the woman of another nation. You know, the woman, she gets burned. And my thing, you know, how do brothers feel about, I agree with the term of, you know, you are what your father is. So if you lay down with a woman, that the child would be an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the man got stoned, you know, for dealing with the other woman. You burn the woman because when that woman sleeps with another man from another nation and bears his seed, that's keeping his generation and whatnot going.
Yeah, that's true too.
You know, because like the man, we keep the nation going. You know, that's why, you know, that's why we want to always have men. You know what I'm saying? We always want to have boys because we like, you know, he gonna keep me going. Or when the woman get married, she takes on that man's last name. You feel me?
Right. Right.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So when the brother asked, like, if we think that law is still applicable to today, I think like the equivalent of that would be, because we know after Messiah died and resurrected, right, we were able to become grafted in like the Gentiles, right?
Right.
And then so once you're grafted in, you become Israel, right? And so it's not necessarily like taking wives of foreign nations, like as far as like a different race, you know what I mean? But more so of like what we were talking about earlier. If we were to take a wife and she worshiped like Buddha or something, that's the equivalent of the wives they were taking that were worshiping the Canaanite gods and whatnot, right?
So basically, you saying like you saying being grafted in, you become spiritual Israel, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so we're talking about the circumcision when the brother asked if that law was still applicable today, because you see Paul talking about the spiritual circumcision,
right,
or the circumcision of the heart. And so I think once you become grafted in, like you're taking a husband or a wife who worships Yah alone, to me that's a righteous covenant, because you're not taking a wife or a husband that's going to lead you astray to worship other gods. And that, I think that was the issue with taking the foreign wives back in the day was you see that with Solomon. I mean, you see that with Solomon when he was taking all these foreign wives. He's our main example of that, right?
Yeah, we're gonna still deal with this question. You know, I got it all in order for us to deal with it, but I'm gonna let y'all keep running it though, and tell me what y'all think, and then we go from there.
For sure.
I'm gonna interject. I'm not trying to debate or nothing, but I'm gonna just give a my perspective when dealing with that. First I will say, if you wasn't in the truth and you dealt with a woman of another nation, right, and then you found the truth in the Most High, and we got to keep the commandments and say, you got a woman of another nation, I would not say leave your woman that is of that other nation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You didn't know. You didn't know what you know now, right? You stick it out with your woman, and hopefully y'all both turn to the Most High. And that's the difference what's going on now. But I will say it is good. Like that law is still prevalent today, because for the simple fact that we are raised different, we have different history. So if I'm married to a white woman and she might be, rooted in she might have been brought up in America where they do Thanksgiving, holidays that like Thanksgiving would be a debate. You know what I mean? I'm looking at it like, well, my ancestors this, and then you're looking at like at your way, like, well, my ancestors that. So it's like it become like like a debate on ancestry, because there's a lot of tension with history, and we we get told as Black people, we get told, well, that was in the past, but we don't feel that way. We still go through things to this day, and then but other nations don't understand. So when you stick kind of with your own race, it's easier to have that connection of dealing with historical things that might have happened in the past, or even up to date things that's happening now. Just being of the opposite race, because we still going through our oppression and whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just the fact of the curse, yeah.
Right. And I agree with what you're saying. And it's about, like you say, if you bringing your kids up in the truth, then you are really instilling that into them, right? If you wasn't brought up in this truth and you had already got with a woman of another nation, now it's about both of y'all becoming spiritual Israel, because you was a lost sheep, and they wasn't a part of the fold at all, but can be grafted in, right? So this is a part of both of y'all becoming spiritual Israel. But if you was brought up in this truth, right, and you still go against what you already know, that's when it's different. That's when this law still applies to you, because you was brought up in this truth. That's when the scripture tell you to teach your children's children, right? These are the same things that you should instill in them. When I was growing up, my mama always told me, yeah, don't bring that, if they ain't got the same hair as you, don't bring them home, type. So it ain't necessary. This is already, again, encoded in your DNA. My mama wasn't in the truth to know truth, but she still gave me one of those pointers, right? So even if I slept with a white woman, I knew not to bring a white woman home. It's a different, so regardless of the situation, it ain't no. My thing is, like Andrew was saying, it's about being spiritual Israel.
Right, because in that same manner, if you found a black woman, right, and you wanted to pursue her, court her, take her as a wife, but she's not in the truth, it's the same thing, because spiritually she's not even Israel, because you see in Romans 11 where they're talking about the natural branches who will be broken off and the other branches that will be grafted in. It's like you got to be spiritually be Israel, because even if she's a black woman and you take her to be your wife, if she's not in the truth, you might as well be taking a woman of the nations, because you know what I mean? Like if she's still trying to celebrate Christmas.
Right. She's walking in the ways of the nations.
Amen.
Right?
Yeah, and then you got to think about it's 12 gates.
Exactly.
12 tribes of Israel. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about that. We're going to get into it. Let's keep going. And then we're going to run
saying that there's still a physical Israel too. So.
There's a physical Israel, right?
So, right.
All right.
Natural born for sure.
Okay. All right. You want to read, Andrew? Shabbat shalom to you.
Shabbat shalom. I'll go ahead. Yeah, for sure. I joined in a little late.
Okay, that's all good. All right, we're gonna hit Judges chapter 2. We're gonna read 7 and 8. All
right, I'll go ahead. And the people served Yahuwah all the days of Yehoshua, and all the days of the elders who outlived Yehoshua, who had seen all the great works of Yahuwah, which he had done for Yisrael. And Yehoshua, son of Nun, the servant of Yahuwah, died 110 years old.
So Joshua died 110 years old. Now 10 through 13, huh?
And all the generation were likewise gathered to their fathers. And another generation arose after them who did not know Yahuwah, nor the work which he had done for Yisrael. Then the children of Yisrael did evil in the eyes of Yahuwah, and served the Baals, and forsook Yahuwah Elohim of their fathers, who had brought them out of the land of Mitzrayim, and went after other mighty ones, of the mighty ones of the people who were all around them. And they bowed down to them and provoked Yahuwah. So they forsook Yahuwah and served Baal and the Ashtoreths.
Asherah. All right, jump down to 20 to 23.
And the displeasure of Yahuwah burned against Israel, and he said, because this nation has transgressed my covenant that I commanded their fathers, and has not obeyed my voice, I also shall no longer drive out before them any of the nations which Yehoshua left when he died, in order to try Israel by them.
In order to try Israel by them. Go ahead.
Right.
Whether they would guard the way of Yahuwah to walk in them as their fathers guarded them or not. So Yahuwah left those nations without driving them out at once, and did not give them into the hand of Yehoshua.
Okay. 3 and 1. Judges 3 and 1. You keep going, Andrew.
And these are the nations which Yahuwah left to try Israel by them. All those who had not known all the battles of Canaan.
And Canaan, right? Okay, now jump down 3 to 7. We ain't gonna worry about all, we can read a couple of them.
5 princes of the Philistines, and all the Canaanites, and the Sidonians,
yeah,
and Hivites, who dwelt in Mount Lebanon, from Mount Baal Hermon to the entrance of Hamath. And they were to try Israel by them, to know whether they would obey the commandments of Yahuwah, which he had commanded their fathers by the hand of Moshe. Thus the children of Israel dwelt in the midst of the Canaanites and Hittites and the Amorites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, and took their daughters to be their wives, and gave their daughters to their sons, and they served their mighty ones.
And served their
mighty ones. Yep. Thus the children of Yisrael did evil in the eyes of Yahuwah, and forgot Yahuwah their Elohim, and served the Baals and the Asherahs.
Right. Okay.
Again, that's still being done to this day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not by surprise that they put something like the Washington Monument everywhere. Even where the Pope live, I forget what it's called, but they got the same Asherah pole, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere you go.
Okay, we still dealing with this matter. All right, we're gonna go to Ezra now, chapter 9. Who up? Gotcha, you ready? Or you want to read, Shad?
I hear this all good.
Yeah, y'all go ahead.
All right, 9, 1 through 3, out.
And when these matters have been done, the leaders came to me saying, the people of Israel and the priests and the Levites have not separated themselves from the people of the lands. As to their abominations, those of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Perizzites and the Jebusites and the Ammonites and the Moabites, the Mizrites and the Amorites, for they have taken some of their daughters as wives for themselves and their sons, so that the set apart seed is intermingled with the peoples of the lands.
Mm-hmm. The set apart seed, right? Go ahead, Al.
And the hand of the leaders and rulers has been foremost in this trespass, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it say the leaders and the rulers doing it the most, right?
Right. The priest and all that.
Right. So even when they show you, nations being mixed of, they might show you famous people, right? Some people in this world consider them leaders. We don't deal with them, but people in this world, they follow them majorly, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of crazy. I mean, just look at the majority of our so-called athletes.
Right. That's right. The best point right there. Instead of using somebody famous, and instantly Drew Holiday came to mind, right? But yeah.
I mean, instantly Michael Jordan come to mind. To me,
right. Right.
He put his away to take one.
He put his away to take one.
Real talk.
And that's still be considered a leader in the basketball world, right? Everybody follow Mike.
For sure.
Andrew, Shabbat Shalom. My bad, y'all got a little disaster going on. Y'all hear me?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we hear y'all.
Popped out one time. Verse 3.
Hello?
Yo.
Yeah, we still here.
Oh, okay.
Verse 3, my bad. My daughter over here, my bad. And when I heard this word, I tore my garment and my robe and plucked out some of the hair of my head and beard and sat down astonished. One through 3 out, then what?
Okay. I'm trying to get back in here. Hey, you just kicked me out. We're gonna jump to 12 through 14. Let me get back to it though.
He said, stop talking about the nations mixing, not.
Okay, I'm about to say, what was the word he heard? We were talking about the mixing of the nations, right?
Mm-hmm. And specifically, excuse me, specifically right here, we talking about the priests and the Levites ain't separating themselves, right? Because when we go back to the Torah, they was specifically told not to. They was even specifically told not to deal with no woman that been ran through. You feel me?
Yeah,
and not to deal with women of other nations. You feel me? So we being Pacific right here also.
Yeah, that was the priest, man. Because I think a Levite, they had to be in among every tribe. You had to at least have a Levite around. So they,
right. Did
Too
you
much
read
is
3
given,
out?
much is required. Yeah, for sure.
I read 3 out.
You read 3? All right, we're gonna jump down to
It ain't
12
on the
through
screen
14.
either, though.
Is it on the screen?
Nah.
Okay. Amen.
So he was like, when he heard the Levites was going off, he said, nah, he had to tear his beard out. He like, man, not the Levites.
Beard and his hair.
Right.
He probably had some locks out. And probably pulled one of his locks out. He got a whole
Man, he
straight
said, I
up.
understand Judah and Benjamin, but not Levi.
Levi
Okay.
and the priest.
Right.
All right, 12 through 14. All right.
12 through 14. And now, do not give your daughters as wives for their sons, nor take their daughters to your sons.
Mm.
And do not seek their peace or wealth ever. That's nice. It made me think about that Judah, what you just said. And, you know, he dealt with that Canaanite woman, but he seen the gold that daddy had. You know what I'm talking about? All that, you know,
Right.
like, man, oh,
Exactly. Huh?
And-
That's exactly
and
what
then-
that is.
And Jacob told him not to. He did it anyway.
did it anyway. I read that again. And do not seek their peace or wealth ever.
You know what?
You are, go ahead, Al.
I got another testimony. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, big man, as many testimonies as y'all Mel got.
Yeah, it's knocking Mel upside the head.
Yeah. I'm like, that brother got so many testimonies. I'm like, how old are you?
I got another.
You know, because ain't nothing like, you know, in the scriptures, you know, just showing that, like, hey, it's till this day, ain't nothing new under the sun. You know what I'm saying? Now,
Yeah.
For sure, brother. For sure.
When I was out there, and I'm pretty sure brothers could relate, but when I was out there getting money, whatever, you know, trying to run around the streets, my cousin put me on. Like, he used to date white girls, you know what I'm saying? He used to date white girls because they had money. He used to go upstate New York and date white girls, and this brother going on trips, you know, going on vacation. So a lot of our people, you know, hey, that's what they do. And then he had me looking for a white woman. You know what I mean?
Hey, you know what, man?
I might get a come up. You know what I'm saying? So
that's the exact reason why I started my position, because of one of my brothers. You know what I'm saying? You already know who, man, and you know, play myself. And then after that, it was just lust, man. You know what I'm saying? Thinking I'm coming up, play myself, you know.
Listen, to this day, I got a couple of my brothers won't date nothing but Gentiles.
Man.
Real talk.
I got family like that. And then, like you say, it started with
My nephew like that.
Yeah, it started with my uncle, and now all his sons like that. You feel me? You know, it passed down regardless, man. You know, you see that, man. That's why I said, you know, it's a difference between what my mama told me and what her brother was doing. My uncle, right?
So we know the men do it and the women do it. You know, every time a woman's with a white, when we see a sister with a white man, first thing we thinking is, oh, she with him for the money. You know what I'm saying? The first thing we thinking.
And we get madder than they do, right?
Man, dude,
yeah.
And I can't talk. You know what I'm saying? But it's the truth.
And then some people be like, oh, it's more peaceful being with a white woman, right? See their peace. They like, hey, the black woman always got some rah shit to say. Rah. Every time you talk to her, right? The white woman talk to her, she's like, oh, well, maybe this and maybe that. They be like, oh, that's peaceful to them, right? Do not see no peace
ain't no
or
peace
will.
Ain't no peace here.
Duck Adam.
You better duck.
You better
Hey, he better be in the bathroom with towels on the floor. You know? Let nothing get out.
Hey, I got towels all on the floor too, man.
He said he had to come outside and say that. Oh, man.
For real though, man. I definitely can relate to that. That's the same thing I thought. Y'all, man, like, and they got money. Oh, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you know, that's just real. So that scripture is still present to this day, man.
Or wealth ever. right?
Ever means never.
But you never read this script before you got. You know what I'm saying? We
That's
don't deal with all that. That's why I'm going through these things so we can deal with, you know, to this present day. You know what I'm saying? Don't get caught up in me going here right now.
Right. It's too late though with Andrew, because that's what Andrew is trying to, you know, let y'all know. I'm like, Andrew left on y'all. I'm like, he might be courting a black woman. Remember, he said that he was courting a woman right now. And y'all hit him with this topic. I was like, Andrew might be courting him a black woman. Sure.
I don't know. I know they be doing a Bible study.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's all good, you know. You just gotta seek out the matter, right?
Yeah, seek the matter. It's definitely true.
That's all we doing. That's all we doing.
Make up that bed you lying in.
Let's keep going for my lesson. Won't be another 5 hours. How about that?
That's remember we said that's incurable, right?
Yeah,
I tried to make it short. I got a 2-parter for y'all. Let's go.
My bad, y'all, because I'm in and out of this thing, man.
You might have to make this a 3-parter. Where we at? 13?
We still at
9?
Still on 12.
12?
And do not seek the peace of their wealth ever. Go right after that.
Ever. So that you are strong, right? And shall eat the good of the land and leave it as an inheritance.
We talk about that. We ain't talking about this land here though. Go ahead, eat the good of the land. They're never talking about fruit off the apple tree and stuff like that. We talking about the tree of life.
Right. And leave it as an inheritance to your children forever, right? To teach your children's children, right? 13. And after all that has come upon us for our evil deeds and for our great guilt, since you, our Elohim, have held back the rod upon our crookedness and have given us such deliverance as this, should we turn back to break your commands and join in marriage with the peoples of these abominations? Would you not be enraged with us until you had consumed us, so that there would be no remnant or survivor?
All right. Let's jump to 10, chapter 10.
10
and 1? Read 10 and 1 through 5. Then we're going to skip.
And while Ezra was praying, and while he was confessing, weeping, and bowing down before the house of Elohim, a very large assembly, men and women and children, gathered unto him from Yashrael, for the people wept very bitterly. And Shechaniah, son of Yechiliel, one of those of Elam, spoke up and said to Ezra, we have trespassed against our Elohim and have taken foreign women from the peoples of the land. And now there is expectancy in Yashrael concerning this. Now then, let us make a covenant with our Elohim to put away all these wives and those who have been born to them according to the counsel of Yahuwah.
He said, and those who have been born to them, right? So he's going to put away the kids too. Go ahead, Al.
According to the counsel of the Most High Yah. So they ain't doing this on their own counsel and saying, yeah, we just going to do this. That means seeking the Most High and praying to the Most High and letting him counsel you upon this matter, right?
Right.
So.
And of those who tremble at the command of our Elohim, and let it be done according to the Torah. He said 1 through 5. Arise, for the matter is upon you, but we are with you. Be strong and act. And Ezra rose and made the leaders of the priests, the Levites, and all Yashrael to swear to do according to this word.
And they swore.
Right.
All right. Jump to 7. 7, 7, and 8.
And they passed a call throughout Yehuda and Jerusalem to all the sons of the exile and gathered at Jerusalem. And that whoever would not come within 3 days, according to the counsel of the leaders and elders, all his goods will be put under ban, and himself separated from the assembly of the exiles.
All right, jump to 10.
And Ezra, the priest, stood up and said to them, You have trespassed and have taken foreign women, adding to the guilt of Yisrael. And now make confession to Yahuwah, Elohim of your fathers, and do his desire.
Who desire?
His desire.
Okay.
To separate yourselves from the peoples of the land and from the foreign women. And all the assembly answered and said with a loud voice, Right. It is upon us to do according to your word.
Okay. Jump down to 44. Just read that one verse.
And these had taken foreign women. Some of them had women who had borne children.
And they put them all away, right? He said, you take foreign women from the land, right? And just thinking about that, you know, you think about Deuteronomy 28:68, right? He said, and you shall be sold to who?
Your enemies.
Your friends,
Right.
Your enemies. And that goes back to that Psalms 83 too. How all the nations, you know, conspired against us.
Okay.
Israel be remembered, right?
And so,
right. And if you read, I was about saying, if you read more in that Ezra 10, it'll tell you some of the people opposed what Ezra had brought forth, right? So everybody ain't just say, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to drop out women. You know, some Levites actually opposed, and some of them gave support also.
Okay. And you think about that Deuteronomy 28:68, you know, it's like now we're in the land of our enemies, right?
Yes, sir.
And who are people marrying?
The enemy.
The enemy.
The enemy.
The enemy. Okay. Now let's go to Tobit, chapter 4.
Hey.
I'm gonna read. Go ahead, Op.
Well, you know what I mean? It's not, you know, it's common sense that we know that we marry our enemies, because we already know, like how we were talking about earlier, like a father will always want their daughter to, you know, date within their own race. You know what I'm saying? And that's nothing new. You know what I'm saying?
Right. All right. Tobit 4. What is Jermaine?
Back in the day, you ain't got to worry about the parent not liking you and stuff. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you marry another woman, you gotta deal with their parents and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and their family, right. And you might be like, man, they might not like me because I'm a different race. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And most people don't like us black people. You know what I'm saying? Just for that reason, that we got melanin.
Right.
But let's go 12 and 13, huh?
Beware of all whoredom, my son, and chiefly take a woman of the seed of your fathers, and take not a strange woman to be your woman, which is not of your father's tribe. For we are the children of the prophets, Noah, Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. Remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning, even that they all married women of their own kindred, and were blessed in their children, and their seed shall inherit the land.
They seed, right? They seed don't inherit the land. But if you got your seed mixed, right? You got to think about that. Go ahead, 13.
I'm sorry, I was just literally having this conversation.
You breaking up.
Breaking up horribly, Mel.
You breaking up terrible, y'all, Mel. Yeah. Go ahead, Jermaine. When you get settled, Yamil, after this scripture, go ahead and talk.
Now 13. Now therefore, my son, love your brethren and despise not in your heart your brethren, the sons and daughters of your people, and not taking a woman of them. For in pride is destruction and much trouble, and in lewdness is decay and great want. For lewdness is the mother of famine.
All right. Okay. Now let's see another reason why we should marry our own and take our own, right? And go to Revelation real quick. Revelation chapter 11.
Yeah, y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Must be this bad Wi-Fi while I'm at the house. Y'all hear me though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I was saying I was just really having that conversation with my little sister the other day. You know, because she's dating a dude that's a Muslim, whatever. And then the dude, but he's a brother, man. But the dude told my sister that, oh, he's waiting for a wife to be arranged for him. And I'm like, who arranges marriages? And because I'm like this, you know that Muslim religion is an Arabic religion of the Arabs, and then we know that the Arabic people, they don't like us, so they're not going to give you an arranged marriage to marry one of their own. You know what I'm saying? So I told her, I said, you know, our people, we wasn't raised with a culture, you know what I mean, of understanding that we need to stick with our own, because not just the Arabs, not the only ones that do it, the so-called Muslims, but the Indians do it too. They have arranged marriages and they stay within their own thing. So when you're growing up in America, we wasn't raised to understand, you know, have that understanding of to stick with our own kind. That wasn't really instilled in us as
well, like actually it was, because at one time it was a law. It was a law.
Right.
That black men couldn't marry no white women.
Right. That was a law. What happened to Emmett Till? He couldn't even whistle at him, right?
Exactly. Right. So
it's always been instilled in us for sure. You know, go back and read Jubilees and Jasher. It said it's been a separation of the nations from the beginning, right? And then if you read that book of Jasher, it say everybody in the world wanted a woman of Kittim, I believe, a woman of Kittim or a woman of Tarshish, something like that. But it was a white woman, basically. And one of the kings of Africa ended up getting with her. You feel me? And it was so prevalent that they built a bridge because she couldn't consume the water of Africa. They built a bridge from Kittim all the way to Africa. You feel me? Just for this woman to consume the water of her land. You feel me? So.
Nah, I agree. I know we read in our history and we know our forefathers operated this way. But you know the curses we lost that way. And I know when Martin Luther King came in, that was that whole thing of Martin Luther King with, because they knew like when we was dealing with our own Black Wall Street, we was getting things done. But when Martin Luther King came in with the whole integration, that confused everything. And then you know us growing up, at least my age, you know, when I was a kid, we was told to love everybody. You know what I mean? And we wasn't really taught to like, oh, love with, you know, stick with your own. You know, they confused us. You know what I'm saying? But we ain't really understand the importance of dating your own kind. You know, we thought it was cool to date other women of other races. You know what I'm saying?
All right, but before coming into this truth, I used to always say, man, we need to be more racist like other nations.
Right.
So racist, I'm talking about as more racist as they take care of their own people, right? You know what I'm saying? If they are a manager at a job, they're gonna make sure they hire their Gentile counterpart before they hire your ass, right? And that's how we need to have that same mindset. But our mindset is make sure we do better than the next brother. That's our mindset. Instead of bigging your brother up. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Revelation 11:1.
We get it.
Who was it? Yeah.
It's still on me?
Oh, my bad.
Oh, no, go on, take it, Adam. You ain't ready. Go on, take it.
All right. And it read, like a measuring rod was given to me, and the messenger stood, saying, rise and measure the dwelling place of Elohim.
Measure what out? What is he measuring?
Measuring the dwelling place of Elohim.
Okay.
And the slaughter place, and those worshiping in it.
In it, right?
Uh-huh.
Where they worshiping at? In it. Okay, go ahead.
but cast out the court which is outside the dwelling place, and do not measure it, for it has been given to the nations, and they shall trample the set apart city underfoot for 42 months.
Okay. He said, but cast out the court which is outside the dwelling place, and do not measure it, for it has been given to basically the Gentiles, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you an Israelite, you in the kingdom, and you marrying a Gentile, she out of the kingdom, where you gonna stand at? You know what I'm saying? So you gotta look at that. All right, now.
But that's still, but if you marry that Gentile, that's still about being the head of your household and bringing your Gentile woman, or if you a Gentile man with a, you know, a Hebrew woman, bringing them into, you know, the truth. So it's like, yeah, you know, again, that's what we talking about. Spiritual is right here. It's more like, yeah, if I'm with you, I got to got with you before I know this truth, but we in this truth now. You know, I need to bring you to be spiritual Israel. So that's our job as being the head, for sure.
Okay, 1 Kings 11. We're going to read about Solomon now. Right? Because he's the one, we're going to read why the Most High don't want us taking all these other wives. 11, 1 through 3. You can go ahead, Adam.
And sovereign Solomon loved many foreign women, in addition to the daughter of Pharaoh, Moabite, Ammonite, Edomite, Tysidian, and Hittite women. For the nations of whom Yahuwah has said to the children of Yisrael, do not go into them, and do not go into you, for they shall certainly turn away your hearts after their mighty ones.
Well, they gonna do what?
Turn his heart into their mighty ones, after their mighty ones.
Okay, go ahead.
Solomon clung to these in love.
He was in love with them. He liked them foreign women, you know. Yep. He was the passport, bro. Go ahead,
And he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines. Man. And his wives, that's a lot, man.
And I just watched a documentary about this, man, how they try to say the Ark of the Covenant is in Ethiopia. But never mind, it's gonna be a soliloquy. Go ahead, my bad.
Yeah, that's all off topic.
Yeah, my bad.
All right.
And his wives turned away his heart.
Right. Verse 5, I jumped to 5.
And Solomon went after Asherah, the mighty one of Tisidonians, and after Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites.
So he went after all them other guys. Jump to 7,
Yep. Then Solomon built a high place for Chemosh, the abomination of Moab, on the hill that is east of Jerusalem, and for Molech, the abomination of the children of Ammon. Man, he was pleasing all those women, you know, honoring their gods. I'm gonna build this for you, baby, and I'm gonna build this for you and you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, turned away his heart.
Turned away his heart.
Read, all right, 8. Okay.
8 through 10, all the way to 10.
All right. And so he did for all his foreign wives, who burned incense and slaughtered to their mighty ones. Therefore Yahuwah was enraged with Solomon, because his heart had turned away from Yahuwah, Elohim of Yisrael, who had appeared to him twice, and had committed him concerning this word, not to go after other mighty ones, but he did not guard what Yahuwah had commanded.
And it was because of the women, right?
Yeah.
Because a woman can drive you to do stuff that you usually don't do.
Wisest man?
Wisest, he was the wisest.
See
like
that?
You said.
What lust will make you do, just like with David and Bathsheba, right?
Right.
And like you say, the wisest man did this.
Exactly.
Wow, man.
So to make us reconsider, the wisest according, you know. But I guess, like you say, the Most High can strip that understanding for you if you ain't walking according to his ways.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay. Okay, now let's go to Numbers. We're going to read about Moshe and his Cushite woman, which he didn't take a Cushite woman to wife, right? But it's just him talking to this Cushite woman. Numbers 12 and 1. Who got it?
Let me hit it again. Somebody else want to hit it?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Art. 1 and 2.
All right. Now Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moshe because of the Cushite woman whom he had taken. For he had taken a Cushite woman.
Wait. We never read. I know this might be getting off topic, but we never read.
It is, but that's all right. Go ahead.
Never read in the 66 books that Moshe dealt with a Cushite woman. We know he dealt with a woman of Midian, right? A Midianite. So who is this Cushite woman that they talking about, right? So we ain't gonna go read it, but for your own notes, read Jasher 72, 21 through 37. And you can read 73 through 30. Yeah. And it'll tell you about Moses being the king of Cush, king of Ethiopia for 40 years. And he was with a Cushite woman. But if you just read this 66 book, you will never read about Moshe.
You will never know that.
You never know it.
You never know it. My bad. Go ahead.
All right, 2. Come on. And they said, has Yahuwah spoken only through Moshe? Has he not spoken through us? And Yahuwah heard it.
Yahuwah heard it. Jump to 4, Art.
And suddenly Yahuwah said to Moshe and Aaron and Miriam, you 3 come out to the tent of appointment. So the 3 came out. And Yahuwah, okay, my bad.
Jump to 6. We're going to read 6 through 9, and that'll be it.
Okay. And he said, hear now my words. If your prophet is of Yahuwah, I make myself known to him in a vision, and I speak to him in a dream. Not so with my servant Moshe. He is trustworthy in all my house. I speak with him mouth to mouth and plainly, and not in riddles, and he sees the form of Yahuwah. So why are you not afraid to speak against my servant Moshe?
He said, I speak to Moses face to face. You know, I ain't worried about Moses falling away. You know what I'm saying? But I'm worried about everybody else falling away, basically.
Man.
You know, Moses can talk to anybody he wants to. But Moses is a proven servant. Okay. Now let's go to 1 Corinthians. You know, that's the difference right there. You know, Moses is a proven servant. He ain't gonna go after them other guys like Solomon did.
Wow, he's already proven, huh? So
he already proven.
He's worried about everybody else. He ain't worried about Moses.
So like now, you know, brothers got wives from other nations or whatever. You know, you just finding out you an Israelite, right? Now, 1 Corinthians 7 and 12. I keep going, Adam.
All right. And to the rest I say, not the master. If any brother has an unbelieving wife, and she thinks well to live with him, let him not send her away.
Don't send her away. You know what I'm saying? Don't send your woman you with away now. The Most High hate divorce, right?
Right. And a woman who has an unbelieving husband and thinks well to live with her, let her not send him away. For the unbelieving husband has been set apart in the wife, and the unbelieving wife has been set apart in the husband. Otherwise, your children will be unclean, but now they are set apart.
But now they set apart.
Right,
Move all the way to 6. Go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing with the script. You know, like you said. Roll back up one time out.
Okay.
Okay. For the unbelieving husband has been set apart in the wife, right? So regardless, man, if your wife, she walking a set of partners, right? And you don't have no belief, it's saying that through this one, especially like the scriptures say in James, the prayers of the righteous accomplishes much, right? So this continues regardless, and I'm gonna have to say because we dealing with regardless of nations, right? We dealing with somebody that's unbelieving,
Right.
It could be Hebrew with Hebrew or Hebrew with Gentile, regardless. One of them is unbelieving. And the unbelieving wife has been set apart in the husband, right? So the roles have reversed. Otherwise, your children, that's what we're talking about right here. Otherwise, your children would be unclean, right? Because if both of y'all was unbelieving, your children is unclean. But now they are set apart because one of them has belief in the truth. That's all.
It makes so much sense to be the head of your household, man, right? And try to lead by example. I always say that's on me. That's on me.
We gotta understand. They try to reverse the roles in these generations, but men have always been a teacher. Men have always been a teachers, regardless of teaching in the schools or teaching in your household. That's why I say I do not permit women to teach, because men have always been a teachers, but it's been a role reversal. That's all.
Hey, no, don't want to get off track real quick. Like I say, man, and it falls back on me. And I told my daughter that this morning. I said that's on me. I try to start it with those Sabbath cartoons. You know what I mean? I didn't do it today, but anything on the Sabbath, that I got to lead that, man. You know what I'm saying?
And not just on the Sabbath, daily.
Exactly, daily.
Daily. Again, we talking about our kids right here. So again, when I say teach your children, you always want your children to be better than you, for sure. You know what I'm saying? So this mistakes that I made, I never want you to make that same foolish mistake, right? So it all starts with us, for sure. Go ahead, my bad. Go ahead.
All right, 15.
Yeah, 15 and 16, and then we back to Judah.
All right. And if the unbelieving one separates, let him separate himself. A brother or sister has not been enslaved in such matters, but Elohim has called us to peace.
Peace, right? If you put away your wife just because she a Gentile, that's not peaceful, right? And you just now coming into this knowledge, it's not peaceful.
Yeah. For how do you know, O wife, whether you shall save your husband? Or how do you know, O husband, whether you should save your wife?
Right. Only thing you can do is move forward and try to get it right. That's all you can do.
I'll pray.
That's it. All right, now let's go back to Judah. You ready, Jermaine?
No, I need a minute, family. I need a minute.
Need a minute? All right.
Yeah, I could read.
Okay. We're just gonna read verse 10. Then we're gonna go to James.
And now, my children, I say unto you, be not drunk with wine, for wine turneth the mind away from the truth, and inspires the passion of lust, and leadeth the eye into error.
Ooh.
Right. Lead the eye into error.
And we just read about that with Judah earlier.
Right.
Yeah, we were just jumping off of Judah to deal with a woman of another nation or a man of another nation, right?
Right.
What they call that, beer goggles, y'all? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes,
okay.
Sir.
You can keep going, Yamel. We're going to read James 13 through 15. James 1, 13 to 15.
All right. Let no one say when he is enticed, I am enticed by Elohim. For Elohim is not enticed by evil matters, and he entices no one.
Man, why this woman over here with me? Why this woman walking in front of me? You know what I'm saying? Most High did it. No, he didn't. Go ahead, Art.
But each one is enticed when he is drawn away by his own desires and trapped.
By his own desires, right? You want to be with this woman, now you with her one-on-one, you trapped.
Yeah, because we still got free will, and that just goes back to working out your own salvation. You know, every man got their own weakness. You know, that everybody got their own thing they dealing with. So, yeah.
Right.
Then when desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin. And sin, when it has been accomplished, brings forth death.
And we seen that when he had that iniquity in his mind, when he was like, "Oh, I seen her," and that iniquity, he started thinking about it and couldn't go to sleep about it. You know, he couldn't sleep until he accomplished that sin. Right? That's that iniquity of mind. For sure.
All right. 11 through 13, Yamel. Back to Judah.
Yes, sir. For the spirit of fornication has wine as a minister to give pleasure to the mind.
To the what? Pleasure to the mind, right?
Mm-hmm. For these two also take away the mind of a man.
Take away the mind of a man. All right.
Ain't the mind like considered like the soul spirit?
Yes, sir. For sure. That's your consciousness that we read about in that Romans 2 when they say, you know, even in the Torah, but they consciousness bears witness, right?
So that goes back to them alcohol stores, you know, wine and spirits. You know what I'm saying?
That's what they know. That's why they call wine, and they call liquor spirits. Wine and spirits. Because hey, if you drink too much of this spirit, man, it'll put another spirit on you, the spirit of fornication.
Right.
You might drink this to the minimum, and you'll be giving all praises to the Most High. For sure. I can attest to both of them, for sure.
And we can see, like, they say, oh, you know, we grew up thinking, oh, only women, you know, I mean, a woman could get drunk enough, then maybe sleep with a man and blame it on alcohol, but that can happen to men too. You know what I'm saying? We both.
It happens to men more.
Yeah, exactly.
Men more.
You know, we both could fall victims. You know, we both can make a mistake. You know what I mean? Not just women. They not the only ones that could drink too much and feel regret. Hey, men could do it too. You might have too much to sip. You might have too much to sip with a woman that's not yours and mess with her, and now you feel bad because you done cheated. You know what I'm saying?
And like I said, it's more for men because you might have just, you know, been, you know, drinking too much, and then you see something, you're like, man, that shit thick. You hit that shit, you see it, you be like, wow. You like, wow, I hit that. It was thick, but look at it.
Right.
You know, women, they take in consideration everything. Like, yeah, you know, they taking, you know, them women's different, man.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. Brothers going head first, you know.
Head first, head first, Look at some thighs.
Let's get it. For if a man drink wine to drunkenness, it disturbeth the mind with filthy thoughts. So there you go. That's going in head first with filthy thoughts, leading to fornication. Hold on, man. Dang. I'm bad, brothers. I got a phone call. Y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right, filthy thoughts leading to fornication.
12, right? Can you start back up?
Yeah, I got you. For if a man drink wine to drunkenness,
to
drunkenness.
Oh, so that means you can sip you a little wine, but if you drink it to drunkenness, what it do?
It disturbs the mind with filthy thoughts, leading to fornication.
Right. That's your next start. Once you start getting filthy drunk, it leads to, man, I want to hit something, right?
We ain't finished that Judah, did we?
We in Judah now.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say that because he talks about. Okay, we're gonna read it. And heave the body to carnal union. So that's that one night stand, right? Carnal union,
right?
Carnal union, right?
Right.
So that's
and what about that? And what about that carnal man?
What about that carnal man? I know.
We're gonna read about that. Keep going. We're gonna read about that real quick.
You know, but that carnal union, that's that one night stand and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, it ain't mean nothing. And if the occasion of lust be present, he worketh the sin and is not ashamed.
Not ashamed, right? carnal union, and he not ashamed.
Right, because he drunk. He drunk.
He don't
gonna
care.
be ashamed until the morning when he realize what he done. In that moment, he is not ashamed.
Like I said, you know, you wake up and then you seen that woman you messed with when you was drunk. You be like, "Dad, I hit that. That's that." You know, now you're gonna get that shame in the morning, right? But you wasn't ashamed at the time.
Ashamed at the time.
Right. Such is the inebriated man, right?
Inebriated.
Such is the inebriated man. My children, for he who is drunken reverences no man. That same thing with having no shame.
Right. And when you say reverence no man, you ain't got respect for no man. You full of that alcohol, you feel like you can whoop anything in the room.
You get that liquid courage, right? Huh?
That liquid courage. There you go. Liquid courage. Any nigga step to me, I'll drop him for sure.
Okay. You get knocked down by the wind. You get knocked down by the wind blow. You know what I'm saying?
Stumbling and shit. I don't whoop any nigga. Are you stumbling?
Who we at?
Romans 8, 5-8.
For those who live according to the flesh, set their mind on the matters of the flesh. But those who live according to the spirit, the matters of the spirit.
Right, that's for sure. And that's what we need to constantly focus on matters of the spirit. Right? Because the spirit is life. It brings life, right?
Right. For the mind of the flesh is death, but the mind of the spirit is life and peace.
Right.
Because the mind of the flesh is enmity towards Elohim, for it does not subject itself to the Torah of Elohim, neither indeed is it able.
It ain't able to. That's the carnal mind, right?
For sure.
The carnal mind, right? That's what we just read right there. The carnal mind. Go ahead. Right.
That reminded me that Sirach I read the other day about people being too far into the world that they're unable to comprehend the ways of the Most High. But it says, and those who are in the flesh are unable, right, to please Elohim.
Right. As long as you're in the flesh, you can't please the Most High, right?
Can't please the Most High in that flesh, right? Not at all.
And it said, for if a man drink wine to drunkenness, it disturbs the mind with filthy thoughts, leading to fornication, and heateth the body to carnal union, right? And if the occasion of lust be present, he worketh the sin and is not ashamed. He ain't ashamed, right? 14. Right. 14, Yamel.
And you know how it said it heateth the body, the carnal union. That kind of remind me like how it talks about that kindle of fire. You know that burns with when that lust comes in. You know how they that kindle that fire. So that must be what that heat is. But let's get it. For lo, it made me also to err, so that I was not ashamed of the multitude in the city. And that before the eyes of all, I turned aside unto Tamar, and I wrought a great sin, and I uncovered the covering of my son's shame.
Right. Man. So we see, so him and Reuben did some bogus things, right? Sleeping with his, Reuben slept with his daddy woman, and Judah slept with his son's woman.
Oh, damn. So, man, look, you got brothers like that, in the community that be doing stuff like that, man.
And he said with that wine, when he did it, he wasn't even ashamed. Everybody in the city see what he doing. He like, shit, I don't care. You feel me?
Not ashamed because
he had that wine.
Wow.
Let's do it.
And Judah, his son.
They looking at Judah like, look at Judah like, don't you come from Jacob? Israel, ain't you supposed to be set apart? He like through the multitude, they ain't even care with that wine in me. I'm like, let's do it.
Nigga, that's cold. Like a nigga like your homeboy hitting your girl, but let your daddy hit your girl, man.
Man.
Oh man, brother.
That's wicked.
Imagine that. That's wicked, That's
you
wicked,
got brothers
man.
that's out here like that though. People out here like that every day.
Let's deal with that. Let's deal with that real quick.
Yeah, man.
Leviticus 18 and 1. You want to shag? You ain't read in a while, I don't think.
Yes, sir.
Leviticus 18 and 1.
Okay.
1 through 3. 1 through 3.
And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the children of Yashrael and say to them, I am Yah, your Elohim. Do not do as they do in the land of Mitzrayim.
Man, what they do in Mitzrayim. Okay, go ahead.
And do not do as they do in the land of Canaan, where I am bringing you. And do not walk in their laws.
Don't walk in their laws. What kind of laws do they have? Jump to 15.
Hey, while you jumping, I want, this is dope because like how they try the Egyptology stuff, and they try to say, oh, well, we had the commandments before the commandments and things in that nature about the 42 laws of Mayet, and they got some crazy laws in that thing, man.
Right.
They lean into their own laws, don't they? Their own understanding.
And they got some wicked laws too. I think they deal with some homosexual stuff too, man.
Yeah, they do.
Possibly.
They do. All right. 15.
The nakedness of your daughter-in-law, you do not uncover. She is your son's wife.
That's what Judah did, right?
Right. You do not uncover her nakedness.
You don't do that.
Right.
No, we're going to jump down. We're going to jump down to 24.
Do not defile yourself with all these, for by all these the nations are defiled, which I am driving out before you.
So that was just one of the laws that the nations is defiled with, right?
Right.
And they said, don't do like them.
Mm-hmm.
Did we do it? Let's go to Amos, chapter 2. You can keep going now.
Yes, sir.
Verse 4. We're going to read verse 4 and verse 7.
For thus said Yah, for 3 transgressions of Yahudah, and for 4, I do not turn it back, because they have rejected the Torah of Yah, and did not guard his laws. And their lies, after which their fathers walked, led them astray.
Led them astray.
And it said the lies of your father. So it didn't say the truth that they told. It said the lies of your fathers that they told.
Right.
Right?
Verse 7 now.
Who crushes the head of the poor ones in the dust of the earth, and turn aside the way of the meek. And a man and his father go into the same girl.
Mm-hmm.
To defile my set apart name.
Man, they go into the same girl, right?
So what you doing when you do that? You defiling his name of the set apart father. What he just said.
Right. Yep.
Now, 1 Corinthians 5 and 1. You keep reading out.
Yes, sir.
They kept doing it. Kept doing it.
It is commonly reported that there is whoring among you, and such whoring as are not even named among the nations.
Wow.
So as one to have his father's wife.
Ain't that what Reuben did? Ain't that what Reuben did?
Look how I say calmly though.
Yep.
It's commonly reported.
Right. I mean, everybody doing it up.
Yeah, it's common. It's common. Yep.
Right.
Hey, just like to this day, it's commonly reported.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
And now it's hot. That's hot boy shit right there.
Right.
All right. Jubilees 33. You want to still ask?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. 1 through 5.
33, 1 through 5. And Yaakov went and dwelt to the south of Magdoli Drawrith, And he went to his father Yishak. And he went to his father Yishak, he and Leah, his woman, on the new moon of the 10th month. And Reuben saw Bilhah, Rachel's maid, the concubine of his father, bathing in water in a secret place, and he loved her. Right?
Man.
Looking at her, and he loved her. Yeah,
man, he looking at her like, man, he got some nice skin.
Right, and we get the difference between a concubine and a wife. When we brought up Absalom slept with David's concubines, because you remember David took all his wives with him, but he left the concubines in the palace, right? So it's like a concubine ain't the same thing as a wife, for sure. Verse 3. And he hid himself at night, and he entered the house of Bilhah at night. Right? That's when wickedness come about at night. And he found her sleeping alone on a bed in her house. Right? So that means she had a separate house, regardless from where the wives was sleeping, where Rachel was sleeping. She had her own abode, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he lay with her, and she awoke and saw, and behold, Reuben was lying with her in the bed, right? So she ain't even expect that. She's like, this gotta be Jacob, right? So she woke up like, hold on, this ain't Jacob. You look like your daddy, but you ain't your daddy.
Right.
Where we at? And she uncovered the border of her covering and seized him and cried out and discovered that it was Reuben, right? So she wasn't even digging that, right? That's his wickedness. And she was ashamed because of him and released her hand from him and fled.
Jump to 9:18.
And Jacob did not approach her again because Reuben had defiled her. And as for any man who uncovers his father's skirt, his deed is wicked exceedingly, for he is abominable before Yahweh.
And see that, and one thing I noticed, it says, and for any man who uncovers his father's skirt, right? Not her skirt, but it's deep, man, because that woman's yours. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, hey, you don't touch that's mine.
Right.
Like you
did he go into her, or you know what I mean? He already defiled her by lifting up her skirt and looking at her naked and everything, huh?
Right. So now it ain't even defiled. The word they don't use these days is more like conquering a woman, right?
Yeah.
Like this is already conquered, then you try to put your flag on it too, right? Yeah. That's what they did when they said the dude went to the moon. It's basically him conquering the outer space and putting the flag on the moon. We know it was fake and folly, right?
You hit that too, huh? I hit that too.
Civilization saying that, hey, what the Most High created, we flew to it and conquered it, put our flag on it, right? Yeah. Come on. My bad. Where we at with it?
Yeah.
For this reason, it is written and ordained on the heavenly tablets that a man should not lie with his father's woman and should not uncover his father's skirt. For this is unclean. They should surely die together, the man who lies with his father's woman and the woman also. For they have wrought uncleanliness on the earth. And there shall be nothing unclean before our Elohim in the nation which he has chosen for himself as a possession. Talking about Yashrael, right?
Right.
And again, it is written a second time, right? Doubled up on writing this, right? Cursed be he who lies with the woman of his father. For he has uncovered his father's shame, and all the quotation of Yahuwah said, so be it. So be it. That basically said, I'll me in, right? Let it be. So be it. And do you, Moshe, command the children of Yashrael that they shall observe this word, for it entails a punishment of death.
Of what?
Death. And it is unclean. And there is no atonement forever to atone for the man who has committed this. Wow.
What about Reuben, though? Keep going.
But he is to be put to death and slain and stoned with stones and rooted out from the midst of the people of our Elohim.
Hey, hold on. So, my bad. So there is no forgiveness for that?
And that's what we read earlier too, when you posed that first question. When you posed that first question about getting with another
nation. Yeah.
It said there's no atonement for it, right? But this is again already having that understanding and doing it.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Right.
For
not doing it in ignorance. So if you already not in the truth and in ignorance, this ain't pointing to you. Right?
Yeah.
14, you got something, Adam?
Yeah, man. Nah. Can I get a Selah moment on that?
Selah, all praises, for sure.
Y'all still see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Start back at 14.
This is on me, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I was tripping. Okay. For to no man who does so in Yashrael is permitted to remain alive a single day on the earth. Right? I'm gonna read out 14 again. For to no man who does so in Yashrael is permitted to remain alive a single day on the earth, for he is abominable and unclean. Right? That's two different things, right? It said he abominable and unclean. And let them not say to Reuben was granted life and forgiveness after he had lain with his father's concubine. And to her also, though she had a man, and her man Jacob, his father, was still alive, for until that time there had not been revealed the ordinance, right? And judgment and Torah in its completeness, right?
Right.
Perfection, right? In its completeness for all. But in your days, it has been revealed as a Torah of seasons and of days and of everlasting Torah for everlasting generations.
That's that mercy of the Most High too. That's that mercy too, man, for real.
Right. So it say you can't say Reuben did it. You can't look at Big Ock and say Big Ock did it. You know, it's more or less like, hey, the Most High said, in that time I gave them the Torah. They knew the 10 Commandments, right? At least. But the Torah wasn't in its completeness, in its perfection, right?
Right. So he was giving you that, like he said, I winked at your ignorance. You know what I'm saying? But now you know.
Right, perfect. I winked at your ignorance. I'll praise it. I'll praise. That's a good one. Praise y'all. I winked at your ignorance. Verse 17. And for this Torah, there is no consumption of days, right? It's forever.
Right.
There's no atonement for it. That's when it gets scary. But they must both be rooted out in the midst of nations, in the midst of the nation. On the day whereon they committed it, they shall slay them. And do you, Moshe, write it down for Yashrael, that they may observe it and do according to these words, and not commit a sin unto death. That's what the Most High said. This is sin unto death. That's when it gets scary, right? For Yahuwah Eloheinu is judge, who respects not persons and accepts not gifts.
But you can't give them no gift. You know what I'm saying? Well, I got you a present. I ain't none of that.
I got you a present.
Right.
What present can you give the creator, right?
Yeah.
Man.
Ain't no partiality going on.
No partiality. So that's dealing with all nations. So
should I end it right here then?
Possibly. What the assembly got to say?
Yeah, I mean, we getting off topic.
Dealing with the nations. Yep.
Yeah, we switching topics, and but we still on topic. And
that's part one. Then.
Yeah, we definitely need more than one part to this.
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all. That was the end of part one.
Part one. Hey, part one was hidden. Part one was hidden.
Yeah, part two next week. Be there or be square. Is that what they used to
say? Hey, you should have known he's gonna hear the corny line.
You could have just said same bat channel, same bat time. old school Batman.
Oh man. I love y'all. Oh, praise.
Same, bro. Oh, y'all too, man.
Oh yeah. Psalm 68. Let's finish it out. Let's finish it up. Praise y'all. Elohim, arise. His enemies are scattered, and those who hate him flee before him. As smoke is driven away, you drive them away. As wax melts before the fire, the wrong perish before Elohim. But the righteous are glad. They exalt before Elohim, and they rejoice with gladness. Praise God. Sing to Elohim. Sing praises to his name. Raise up a highway for him who rides through the deserts by his name, Yah, and exalt before him. Father of the fatherless and right ruler of widows is Elohim in his set apart dwelling. Elohim makes a home for the lonely. He brings out into prosperity those who are bound with chains. Only the rebellious shall dwell in a dry land. O Elohim, when you went out before your people, when you stepped through the wilderness, Selah, the earth shook and the heavens dropped before Elohim. This Sinai shook before Elohim, the Elohim of Israel. You, O Elohim, sent a shower of plenty. You confirmed your inheritance when it was weary. Your flock dwelt in it. You provided from your goodness for the poor, O Elohim. Yahuwah gave the word. The women who proclaimed it was a great company. Sovereigns of armies flee in haste, and she who remains at home divides the spoil. If you lie down among the sheepfolds, the wings of a dove are covered with silver, and her pinions with yellow gold. When the Almighty scattered sovereigns in it, it did snow in Salmon. A mountain of Elohim is the mountain of Bashan. A mountain of peaks is the mountain of Bashan. O mountain of peaks, why do you gaze in envy? At the mountains which Elohim desired to dwell in, Yahuwah even dwells there forever. The chariots of Elohim are 20,000, thousands of thousands. Yahuwah came from Sinai into the set apart place. You have ascended on high. You have led captivity captive. You have received gifts among men and even the rebellious. That Yah Elohim might remain, that Yah Elohim might dwell there. Blessed be Yahuwah. Day by day he bears our burden, the El of our deliverance. Selah. El is the El of deliverance, right? El is the El of deliverance. And to Yahuwah, the master, belongs escapes from death. All praises. Indeed, Elohim smites the head of his enemies, the hairy scalps of him who walks about in his guilt. Yah said, I bring back from Bashan. I bring back the depths of the sea, so that you plunge your foot in blood, that the tongues of your dogs have their portion from the enemies. They have seen your goings, O Elohim, the goings of my El, my sovereign, into the set apart place. The singers went in front, the players on instruments after them. Among them were the young women playing tambourines. Bless Elohim in the assemblies, Yahuwah from the fountain of Yisrael. There is Benjamin, the smallest, their ruler, the leaders of Yahudah, their company, the leader of Zebulon, the leader of Naphtali. Your Elohim has commanded your strength. Be strong, O Elohim. This you have worked out for us. Because of your Hekel at Jerusalem, sovereigns bring presents to you. Rebuke the wild beast of the reeds, the herd of bulls with the calves of the peoples, each one humbling himself with pieces of silver, right? Every Sunday. Each one humbling himself with pieces of silver. Scatter the people who delight in conflicts. Ambassadors come out of Mizraim. Cush stretches out her hands to Elohim. Sing to Elohim, you reigns of the earth. Praise to Yahuwah. Selah. To him who rides on the ancient highest heavens, see, he sends out his voice, a mighty voice. Ascribe strength to Elohim. His excellence is over Yisrael, and his strength is in the clouds. O Elohim, awesome from your set apart place. The El of Yisrael is he who gives strength and power to his people. Blessed be Elohim. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise Yah.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah.
All praises, man.
Praise.
All praises.
Okay, part 2 next week, family.
All praises, man.
Part 2 next week.
Hey, Rue, scroll down. Scroll down a little bit.
Okay. Okay.
Oh man.
Yeah, keep
Let
going.
me end this. Let me end this
Okay,
real quick,
okay.
guys.